Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike Shea with Transworld. I'm here with Lisa Kahn and Andy Cagnetta, and we're going to talk about the most recent immigration update that we just got. So Lisa, floor is yours.
Okay, sure. So there has been a travel ban in effect for the UK, the Schengen area countries, Ireland, for individuals coming to the US. There's been a ban in effect with certain exemptions to that ban if someone is the parent of a US citizen or they're married to a US citizen, etc. There's also been a national interest exception to that ban, which has been given pretty much as a rubber stamp to E2 investors, as well as other categories such as E1 treaty traders and professional athletes and executives and managers. As of March 2nd, the Secretary of State has rescinded that national interest exception for those categories of individuals. And the upshot of that then is that if someone who would have been who was applying for an E2 investor visa, for example, say in London, and would get that visa and automatically be given that exemption from the travel restrictions so that they could take that visa and come to the US and close on the business and buy the business, that national interest exception that was more or less automatic is no more. There's a new national interest exception and set of criteria, and essentially it's that an individual is coming to the US because they are doing work that's related to the kind of infrastructure of the United States and key industries. I can quote from that. If you bear with me, you might lose my face here a little bit, but it relates to providing vital support for infrastructure sectors such as, and I won't list them all, but chemical manufacturing, defense industrial base, energy, financial services, emergency services, healthcare. And if an individual was coming in as an E2 investor to provide essential vital support in one of those sectors, and vital support being installation, acquisition, maintenance, essential training for those sectors, then they could apply for and be granted a national interest exception. The second prong of that exception is if travel would directly support the creation or retention of US jobs, but that has to be of a very significant level. And it's expected that that exception would be pretty rare and really just for substantial job creation or retention. And the decision on that, whether or not that exception should be granted, would be done by the State Department in Washington, D.C., and not by the embassy officers. So I think the upshot of all of this is going to be very difficult for E2 folks from the UK, Ireland, the Schengen area countries to either get the E2 visa, or even if they do get the E2 visa, they're going to be holding a visa, but they can't come to the US. And the only way they could come to the US then is to go to a non-travel ban country, stay there for 2 weeks, and then fly directly to the US, which I think is cumbersome for most. And I don't know if the consulates in the UK, Ireland, the Schengen area countries are going to be willing to issue E2 visas now, knowing that individuals can't use them, or knowing that if they did issue them, they're going to jump to another country, then come in. The purpose behind all of this is really to, I think, curb the flow of COVID transmission. And so I don't think we're just not sure right now how it's going to play out as far as continued E2 visa appointments and issuance at the embassies in Europe.
Translation, it just got very hard to sell your small business to an E2 investor, which is very harmful to the small business community, not only here in Florida, but nationwide. Certainly here in Florida, where we seem to have a pipeline of folks immigrating from the UK. But, Michael, you have deals right now that are going to be held up by this or die.
Yeah, I've got several that are probably going to collapse. So Lisa, I want to thank you. Oh man, I lost it. I think we're about to lose our time on this. So I want to thank you for telling it, and we'll get an update as soon as we hear what the
Okay.
All right.
Yep. I'll keep you posted as I know more.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Lisa.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Sorry, Doc. No, it was